With My Hero Academia almost ending, I want to finally like go back to reading it. I stopped at the Liberation War arc because and that's the arc where it's like with Gecko Makia running rampant and the class fights him, and Shigaraki, awakening with all his full powers, and Deku and Bakugo fight Shigaraki and all that whole thing. That's the arc I'm talking about. I stopped there because there's a lot of issues I had with it, but I was reading it weekly, and I feel like I may have gotten a bias. So I want to reread it, and I'm giving you guys my review on it. This is the My Hero Academia Liberation War Arc. I feel like that my expectations came from the fact that I was reading weekly at the time. Like I was reading it as it came out. And so I'm like, oh, I want this fight, I want that fight. But that's not what this arc is. It's more of like a bunch of skirmishes and just a bunch of clashes. And that's not a bad thing. I feel like when you're reading weekly, you're over digesting. And you're overthinking it and trying to make every single panel matter, when some of them, they all matter, but they don't, like the overall picture. Like there may be an issue that gets fixed 2 chapters later, but because you see that one chapter and you have to stay with that chapter for like 2 weeks, you're bashing it and bashing like a point or a character or some shit like that. A good example is like from Dragon Ball Super. You get 1 chapter of Dragon Ball Super every month. And during the Moral arc, it felt so long. But when I reread it, it's like 12 chapters max. And it's a very fast arc. And a lot of arcs need like flow. Like for Jujutsu Kaisen, there's the was it Osaka, Tokyo? No, Shibuya, the Shibuya arc. I read that all at one time and the flow was insane. And it just kept on going because I was binge reading it. And I feel like the same works for here, because this time I binge read it instead of weekly reading it. The arc felt way faster and way more together in form. And I think that really matters a lot. That's why I'm also just gonna start reading binge only, because weekly, it ain't it, gang. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to this arc and the characters that I feel like carry it for me, it was definitely the villains. The villains really pushed this arc to a different level. And those specifically is Twice, Dabi throughout the whole thing, and Shigaraki. Those 3 is really moving the plot and really pushing every scene they're in. Every scene they're in is okay, time to pull out the popcorn. It's about to go crazy. I want to talk about Twice first because he was at the beginning. I love Twice. He's actually really cool. His Sad Man's Parade, I still know that move since the first time I read it years ago. It's just in my brain forever. When him and Hawks were fighting, Hawks was like, "You're truly unlucky. I feel sorry for you," and things like that. And Twice was, and later on when Twice is dying, he was getting hugged by Toga. He was like, "Hawks, you're wrong. Actually, I'm pretty lucky." And the reason he says he is lucky is because he was lucky to find people he could call his true family. He was lucky because he couldn't even find true family within himself when he tried to have a family of just his clones, and they all betrayed each other and things like that. But he found a true family within Toga and Shigaraki and Dabi and the rest of them. And it's even though he's messed up numerous times, he still was loved. So he can die knowing that he was loved, and he can die protecting people that he knows loves him. And it was so interesting to see Hawks want to bring Twice over, because he knows Twice is a good guy. Because one thing I'm glad I reread, because I somehow just it went over my head how Hawks works. He is a person who feels like in a bad environment doesn't make who you are. You can still be a good person no matter what, because and he saw that within Twice. He saw you're genuinely a good guy. You just had a bad turn, but you can still bring up. I can help you be on a good side, help you be the person that I know you can be. And the reason Hawks sees things this way is because he's technically from that type of environment. His mom was a shut-in, didn't do shit, lazy, whatever, and his dad was an abusive criminal, and they really abused him. He was not taken care of, was very much neglected, and he could even leave the house and things like that. And he thought he wouldn't be nothing, he's gonna be just like them, he wanted to be away from things like that. But what changed it for him was when he saved people from a car crash with his wings. And that told him he still be a good person. He could still be someone on that level. And also whenever Endeavor arrested his dad, that gave him joy. It was heroes do exist. These good people do exist. So he goes with that ideology that no matter how bad you are or where you came from, you can still be a good person. And he can see that in other people. Shigaraki, when Shigaraki woke up from his when he got electrocuted, and that's how he woke up. The looming intense pressure that came from it, like the build up, the chapters I was reading up to, everyone was like kind of hinting at it, and like it's just, there was making a looming atmosphere for him to wake up. And when he woke up, it was complete destruction. As soon as he woke up, shit went down, and that was very, very tense, and it was so fucking fire. And then when he fought Endeavor, that was it was a quick, very quick fight, but it was a clean, quick fight, because we got to see, oh, this is what he's capable of. Oh, we don't know what's about to happen, because this is what he can do right now. This is like a few seconds of a fight. When Shigaraki fought everybody, that was one of the cleanest fights I have seen, period. Like, I never seen a fight in manga like that that's organized in a way of like everyone's jumping you, but they're struggling to jump you in such a good format. It was doing it in a really nice formatic way, because we got to protect this person, but we also got to jump this person. It really fucking hit. And the main thing for me, I feel like Shigaraki, he has 2 points that really like do his character. It's his rage, and how his rage is what makes him kind of lose control, where Alpha 1 can take over his body, and society. So with rage, like, I like how Alpha 1 is like constantly in his head trying to get to him. And I like the way that Shigaraki, Loki doesn't even fuck with Alpha 1 like that, because like Shigaraki wants to be at the top, and Alpha 1 was almost at the top, but then he lost. Shigaraki doesn't want to lose. So he sees Alpha 1, he's like, oh, you're not, I want to be better than you. I want to be stronger than you, because in the end you lost. I don't want to lose. I want to be able to get to the top and truly be at the top. That's what Shigaraki wants. But when he has the rage from his family, and just the rage that he's got from, like, it's his past trauma that like blinds him, makes him blind with rage. Those cracks of rage that happen, like Alpha 1 kind of take control. And I like that dynamic the two have, when it's like we really see how each other feels about each other, because it's always like, oh, we're like student teacher, for real. No, it's like Alpha 1 Loki just wants to take your body because you're a good vessel, and Chakra is like, I don't really fuck with you because you're not really like him, at least in my opinion. And then the second thing for Shigaraki is society. The way he describes society is very, I was just explaining it. So citizens get spoiled by heroes in every shape of the way, and those spoiled citizens praise the heroes, which makes those heroes who are being praised spoil the citizens more, and it becomes a cycle, to the point where these heroes are only being heroes for the attention and the fame they'll get from it, and not for like true things. And I don't mean in the sense of like, oh, fighting a villain. I mean in the sense of doing something that's like out of their what they're supposed to be doing. Like, this is in my job description type shit, right? A good instance is Uraraka, when she and everybody is, after the war, everybody is like trying to help and save people, and it's non-stop. You got to keep moving non-stop. And one of the heroes is like, I can't take this, I can't do this. And he's like shaking his broken, he says he's gonna quit and everything like that. And Ochaka sees that, she's like, oh, you know, like it hits her. And that's the type of hero I'm talking about. Those heroes who are just here for like the praise and the fame and the convenience, but that convenience isn't there no more. You have to be a real hero. And those are the type of heroes that Shigaraki's talking about. They don't really care. It's the same way like that one old lady who saw Shigaraki and was like, oh, she's a spoiled citizen. Why? Because she's like, oh, a hero would do it, so it doesn't matter to me. So she just leaves Shigaraki. And I feel like there was a hero that saw Shigaraki and still didn't do shit, which shows that's another hero that's like who only wants praise. It doesn't want to do nothing that's out of their direct job description. And I get to see where Uraraka's choice in wanting to be a hero that supports other heroes comes from seeing them. I like to see where it came from, because I missed that as well. So I like to see that from Uraraka, and I really like her character and everything. It's been going really well. And since I'm on the students, I really like the Gigo Makia fight, and I like when they low-key rushed Momo into that like position, and she didn't fold. And then last time she was put in a position of like leadership, or like what should we do, she like folded. And it was just really cool to see her like handle the pressure and decide, oh, we're gonna fight this dude. We're gonna fight this unstoppable force, a literal unstoppable force. We're gonna go at it. All the heroes lost. It doesn't matter to us. We got to do what we have to do. And I just love the growth. To see from her fighting Aizawa with Todoroki to now, she's really been growing. And this is like a moment when it really shows. And it gave me chills when she actually like started getting in her bag for real. I also like when Kirishima and Ashido had like, when they're like how Dave was able to get the drug inside of Gigo Makia's mouth. When Ashido came with a little slug form, and I love the little art, the cover art she had. That shit was so clean. That shit looked clean as hell. And I don't think she really had anything before it, except for like that main one. And I like that. That shit was clean. And then Kirishima, he protected her and still got her dose in there. Which fire scene. I love Kirishima, by the way. That's my boy for real, for real. So back with Dabi, I remember when this flashback happened the first time, like when I was reading Weekly, I was like, okay, so basically you're telling me this boy is just mad that he didn't get attention and etc. And I think it was because I was just like hating on almost every chapter because there was so much shit happening that I didn't like, that when Dabi flashback came out, I was like, okay, so he's a bitch. But, and even though he still kind of is, it's not really that case. So let me explain. So what it is basically that he knew like what his birth meant and what he should be. He knew exactly what his role was when he was born. Endeavor and his mom had him purely so he could be a strong person. He knew that. And at that young of an age, when your brain is still learning, you learn things and you take in things on a deeper level, which is why children can learn languages way easier than anybody else. It's because their brain is still developing. So when little Dabi, his brain is still developing, and Endeavor is pushing in the notion of be stronger than All Might. That's all he wants. That's all the little kid wants. That's all he can think of 24/7, and he can't get rid of that. Especially when as he gets older, to a teenager, and he gets into adolescence, that develops and his emotions develop with that mindset, and he can't get rid of it, to the point where he attacks Shoto because Shoto was what he should have been. And I like how he didn't leave his mom at the picture, like his mom was still at fault because she didn't really try. You know, like it was like, okay, bro, he sees it in a way like, oh, you might not love me like that, bro. You got me because I was meant for this one job and I'm not that. I wasn't born through love. That's how he gets it. That's how he sees it. And his mom is as much a part of it as Endeavor, even though Endeavor is the main force. And Endeavor didn't do anything to like help. I mean, he'd tell him, oh, don't do this. But he didn't face Dabi. He didn't really give the time to face Dabi. He would just avoid him and focus on Shoto. Dabi was being ignored in a time he should not have been ignored. And it ended up just exploding. That's why I really like it. I like the flashback way better now, and I feel more like I get it. Because he was literally in a bad environment, which is funny because it goes with the Hawks thing. Like, you can be in a bad environment and still be a good person, but if no one's there to help you or be there for you, how can that happen? You're just going to keep falling into depravity. The flashback isn't as crazy as most of the flashbacks I've seen in My Academia, but it's crazy for Dabi, and that's what matters. Another thing for Dabi is like every time he was on screen, oh my god, he was the biggest impact in that arc. He was like the main seed that was growing all the plants. You know, he was like that special water. You get me? And whenever he was fighting Hawks, and his movements and his emotional manipulation of Twice, him knowing Hawk's real name, his decision making, his reactions, him bringing in a him bringing in a guy with electronics and broadcasting his flashback during the fight, him doing more emotional manipulation to make Endeavor in such turmoil to kill Shoto. And everything, Dabi was just moving. He was on timing. Even when he was on Gigo Makia, he was like, y'all, stay low so the students don't know we're here. And then he was able to get a good sneak on them because of that. Dabi was on timing that entire arc. He was on timing. That's all I can really say. Like, he really, like, put that fucking arc. He really, Dabi is definitely, what's MVP? MVP is Dabi for that arc. So overall, the, Liberation War Arc is really nice. It's actually really good. I'm going to give it like a good... Honestly, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. I would have actually given it a 10 out of 10. But the reason I'm not is because of my fucking issues. And I still have issues and gripes with this fucking arc. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's Deku and Mirio. I'm gonna crash out how much I did not like this shit. So I'm gonna start off with Deku. Let's get into it. So when Deku, not at the very end, when Deku is, after the whole fight, and everything that's happened from Shigaraki getting hurt to everyone getting their ass beat, from old man getting hurt, getting his legs crushed, everybody getting beat up or hurt, everybody's burned, everybody's fucked, you know. And they have the inside battle where we thought Shigaraki might have won because he touched Deku, but it didn't happen. In the end, when Deku's seeing how like All For One is essentially just trying to take over his whole body, he's like, he looked like he needed saving. I still hate that line. And even though, yes, it does make sense for Deku's character, it just felt very inhuman and wrong place. But as I kept reading, and I got to the final chapter, I think it was 305 or 306, where Deku's talking with the other successors of One for All. and they're like, and he explains like, yo, like I saw like the person, I see all our rays, but then inside I see a little boy crying, and I want to help them because I've been taught and trained to want to save people. This power is for saving. I want to save any and everyone that I can. I won't know until I have tried to save them, and that works way more than that. It makes that line better, but I still don't like that line. It's just badly placed. I don't care. It's terribly placed. In fact, there's no way a human is going to be like, oh well, my best friend got his ass beat. I thought my master died. My other master cut his leg off. This dude has killed hundreds and thousands of people. Everyone's at brink's door of death. I was about to try to kill you just now because I thought you killed my friend and then called him a fucking waste of space. I'm ready to throw hands with you. I don't care. So even though we have a dialogue that's like kind of wild, there's no one gonna be like, oh, you need saving. Bro, I wanna fuck you up, bro. I wanna take you out, then save you later. It's just bad placement. It's bad placement. I don't care. Put it later. Don't put it right after, like a second after. That's just not a human. That's not a human response. It's really not. You can't just calm down all that rage at that high of a level in the span of 2 minutes. That's insane. That's just not. No, that's just badly placed. But it's in Neko's character, and I do like it. It's just badly placed. I still don't like the way that Miro came back. I feel like there should have been a little bit more light on it, because like when Miro came back, the only thing we get is, oh, like, Harry, I know you've been training. Please, I need my power. She's like, okay. Which is like, okay, that's, I guess, essential. But there was too much buildup between the relationship of Mirio and Eri for it to just be ended that quick. With him getting his quirk back, I mean. Like, there should have been a little bit more light on it, but there wasn't. And I feel like that was a bad thing to do for Mirio, because Mirio is one of my favorite characters. But maybe something more happens in the future, so we'll see. I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep reading My Hero Academia, and I'm going to watch a few of the new season anime episodes. And hopefully by the time I do, the manga is over and I can just give like one big review of the entire series or something like that. And I am going to do a review on the Final War, and I'm very excited to read it. I actually really am. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.